Hey lovely people, Erin here. Welcome back to the Impatient DIYer. Today I am participating in the Craft Your Clutter Craft Challenge that is being hosted by the official DIY nerd and co-hosted by the Mug Life DIY. I am so excited to be participating in this because honestly, I have quite a bit of clutter. I feel like every crafter does, and it's stressing me out a little bit right now because I am trying to buy a home, and if I have to move stuff, that's a lot of clutter to go through, and that's a lot of clutter to pack and move, and stressing me out, y'all, stressing me out. So I have 2 DIYs that I put together today to try and use up some of that clutter, some of the things that I've had for a while that I bought because it was cute and then didn't do anything with it for months. I just have to get rid of some stuff. Definitely do. So one of the things, which I'm super excited about, is another pom-pom garland because I love those. And I have this ginormous ball of white yarn. I don't know why I own this, guys. I have no idea why I thought I needed this. But we're going to work our way through it, and it's going to be a really good time. But I hope you guys like these videos, and let's go ahead and get started. For DIY number 1, we're going to be making this really cute pom-pom garland. Now, this garland used that white yarn that I showed you at the very beginning and this green yarn that I actually got at Dollar Tree. This is acrylic yarn, and I feel like this yarn usually works the best for these pom-poms. So I just unraveled it a whole bunch. If anyone can ever tell me the secret of how to find the center piece of the yarn so I can pull from the center, please let me know, because I do this every time. So I don't have a pom-pom maker, so I just wrap the yarn around my fingers, and this is actually not sped up very much. You can just sit there and keep wrapping. I couldn't tell you how many times I wrapped this around, maybe over 150. And it was a little difficult to get off my fingers here at the end, but it definitely looked super cute. This yarn is actually super soft. I was extremely impressed with how soft this yarn is for just $1. So super exciting about that. So once you finish wrapping all of these, you're just going to cut another piece. Now I cut a longer piece than you would think and tied that around the center after you take it off your fingers. And the reason that I cut a little bit of a longer piece is because I didn't want it to get lost in the rest of them. And I am going to be using that to tie it onto the other string to make the garland. After you tie it off, and I did a double knot, you're just going to cut all of the loops that you had around your fingers, and you get this hot mess. So we're gonna take this and make this pretty. And once again, I feel like I'm just giving this thing a haircut. That's how I feel just like the entire time that I'm cutting this down. And it's just such a non-stress activity, I feel like. Once again, just sat here, watched some HGTV, gave a little pom-pom a haircut, and I don't know, does anyone else feel like this is such a non-stressful activity? Does anyone else just like activities like this when they're crafting? You don't have to think all that much, just trying to make a circle and just relax. So I really like doing this. So this is how it looks when I am all done. I really like it. Oh, and I also found that if you kind of hold it by the strings and like swung it around, you can see I'm being a little violent there with it, it fluffs out all of the yarn all the way so you can actually see the full shape of it. And I found that that was a lot easier to make the shape. So once I finished all of those, I ended up doing, was it 5 of those and 5 of the white ones. I took this lime green yarn that I got actually from Michael's. I don't know where the hair tie came from, that's fine. But I took this lime green yarn from Michael's that I think I got for $1.99. Now this is acrylic yarn. No, the other one's acrylic yarn. This is cotton yarn. And originally I had wanted to use this to make pom-poms, but it was just not good pom-pom yarn. I was extremely disappointed. So I took the long pieces on each of the pom-poms and just tied them onto the yarn. And you'll see here that I folded it in half because I wanted everything to kind of be evenly spaced out, which actually worked out really, really well for me. All of the pom-pom balls were extremely evenly spaced out on this. And you can see that I'm also alternating it, the white and the hunter green. That looks like a hunter green. So that they're alternating each other on the garland. Now, for some reason I decided to tie these two together, and I don't know why. So that was a little difficult to get undone before I was able to tie that one on there. Once you get all of these tied on, you're going to cut off all of the longer strands that you used to actually tie them on. So then those are just completely hidden. You would never know any of that's there. And I think it makes everything a lot easier in the end. You don't have to worry about trying to tie super short yarn pieces, and it looks just as pretty. So here's what it looks like hanging up, and it does look a little dark depending on the light, but I like the lime green string. Would you add anything to this? Let me know in the comments. So for DIY number 2, we are going to be making this cute little Irish Kisses 25-cent sign, and the first thing we're going to do for that is make our own shamrock using this green felt that I got at the Crafter Square. Now to do this, these are some wooden hearts that I got from Hobby Lobby, half off, and I'm going to be using kind of the middle size. I couldn't really decide at first. At first I might have used one of the felt hearts from Dollar Tree, but any heart that you have, and all you need is scissors and a pen. So this felt was really, really soft, but also surprisingly thin. Also, you need a working pen to do this. Don't be like me. Use a working pen. But yeah, this felt was really, really soft, kind of thin. I originally got it to make some gnomes, but I'm not sure if it's going to quite work out for that. It might need to be double layered. It works out perfectly fine for this decor piece, but you'll have to let me know. Do you guys find that the Dollar Tree felt is a little bit thinner than the felt pieces you would get at like Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby or anything like that? So after I trace these out on the felt, you can see I'm just cutting each of them out, and you're gonna do 4. We're gonna have a good luck 4-leaf clover, so you definitely wanna have 4 hearts. And originally I was going to try and make a garland out of these, but because the felt was so thin, I decided to do this piece instead. And then I'm using some of the scrap felt from where I cut the hearts out to make the stem. So using every piece that I have. Now, another part of my stash that I am using is just this string that I found. I have no idea where this string came from, but you're not going to see it when all of this is done. So I just decided to use this and some needles that I actually got from my grandmother forever ago. So yeah, all of this was stuff that I had. So I'm just trying to figure out the placement of where I want that string to be. And I kind of felt that in the middle of the end was the best place. There you can see where I'm kind of putting it. It's not quite on the edge of either of the sides of the point. It's right there in the middle, maybe like a fourth of an inch in from the point. And then you can just spread them out. And I sewed them all together, and then I tied a knot at the end and then just flattened them all out. So it was super, super easy to do. You can't even see the pink string. It's really awesome. Now this is a wood palette that I got from Dollar General. That sticker was a pain in the butt to come off, like maybe worse than dollar store pain. So I used my heat gun. You can see I used some sandpaper to try and get some stuff on, like scissors, everything you can think of. I couldn't get it all off, and I actually ended up using a little bit of Waverly Antique Wax to blend in where I sanded too much off. This window cling set that I'm using here is from Dollar Tree. I am obsessed with gnomes. I love making them. I love using them in decor, so I was really excited to find this. So I'm using some matte Mod Podge that I got from the Dollar Tree and just putting a little bit of that on the back, and that's what I'm using to stick it on to this wood plaque. You know, I really like that this wood plaque is already stained, honestly. Call it impatient, call it lazy. I just didn't feel like staining anything. So I think this was $2 at Dollar General, and I like that I didn't have to do anything. So once that is all dry, you're gonna hot glue your clover leaves onto your wood plaque. And I just used a little bit of hot glue here and there. I wasn't too terribly worried about this coming off, just about it kind of flapping around. And then I just put the stem on and glued it under the leaves. So this was super, super easy to do, and I honestly really like how this turned out. And this is hanging up on the coat closet door in my parents' entryway. And I just think it looks really cute. You can tell a little bit that I used a window cling, but I honestly don't really care all that much. I think it's a fun piece, and I really like how the homemade clover turned out. That's that for those two quick tutorials. I really hope that you guys liked them, and definitely going to see me crafting a lot more of my clutter and my stash and everything that I've got. Trying not to go to the Dollar Tree until after we buy our house. So we'll see you guys next time.